Most people know Plato as the father of Western philosophy, a student of Socrates and a teacher of Aristotle, the man who gave us the allegory of the cave, the concept of ideal forms, and the foundations of political theory. But what they don't know, what they were never told, is that Plato may have been something else entirely. Not just a thinker, not just a writer, but a code breaker, or more chillingly, a messenger. Because buried inside Plato's most famous works, hidden in plain sight, are mathematical codes, musical patterns, and astronomical alignments that seem too intentional to be accidents. And what they reveal isn't just philosophical wisdom, it's a warning. Let's rewind. Around 380 BCE, Plato writes his most influential text, The Republic, a sweeping work of political theory, justice, and the nature of the soul. But there's something strange about the structure of this book. It's divided into 12 parts. Each section is almost exactly the same length, 421 lines in Greek. Modern scholars like Dr. J. Kennedy from the University of Manchester discovered that when you overlay musical scales, particularly the ancient Pythagorean tuning system, onto the structure of the Republic, patterns begin to emerge. Musical ratios, harmonic intervals, dissonant points perfectly placed with moments of tension in the text. It's as if the entire book was written to be in sync with music. Why? Because Plato was obsessed with something we now call the music of the spheres, an ancient belief that planets, as they move through the cosmos, emit frequencies, vibrations so perfect that the universe itself is structured on mathematical harmony. And if you understand the harmony, you understand the truth beneath reality. But that's not even the weirdest part. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Plato describes something you've probably heard of, Atlantis, a powerful island civilization that was advanced, rich, and utopian until it vanished beneath the sea in a single day and night. Everyone dismisses this as myth. But what if it wasn't? What if Atlantis wasn't a lost city, but a lost warning? Plato claimed he didn't invent the story. He said it was passed down to him through Solon, the Athenian lawgiver, who had learned it from Egyptian priests during his travels. The Egyptians told Solon that civilizations rise and fall in cycles, wiped out by fire from the sky or floods from the earth, and that humanity has been reset many times. Sound familiar? Here's where it gets wild. The numbers Plato gives for Atlantis, the size of the city, the number of rings, the distance from Athens, they all line up almost perfectly with precession cycles, celestial equinoxes, and the orbital patterns of long-period comets. In other words, he wasn't just telling a story, he was encoding data. Some researchers believe that Plato was hiding forbidden astronomical knowledge inside his dialogues, knowledge that points to a catastrophic event from deep antiquity, possibly around 12,800 years ago, which coincidentally is when the younger Dryas impact hypothesis claims a massive comet struck Earth, causing a rapid return to an ice age and wiping out advanced prehistoric cultures. Could Atlantis have been real? Not with flying machines or laser beams, but as a metaphor for an earlier lost civilization? Plato never called Atlantis fiction. He insisted it was history. But here's the thing. After Critias, Plato promised a third book that would complete the trilogy. That book? Well, it was never written. Or maybe it was never found. Some people believe it was deliberately erased. Others think it was just too dangerous to release. And a few believe it was hidden, encoded into the rest of his writings, and that only those who really understand the mathematical structure of his texts can actually find it. A hidden book right there within the books we already have. Even weirder? Why was Plato so obsessed with geometry, proportion, and harmony? Why did he write in code, and why structure entire books to match musical scales? And why base his most famous allegory, the cave, on the idea that everything we see is just a shadow, and that only through intellectual ascension can we actually perceive the truth? Was he trying to teach us philosophy, or was he leaving us clues, breadcrumbs for those who could see past the illusion? Maybe that's why the church feared him. why certain interpretations of his work were banned in the Middle Ages. Because if you believe Plato, this reality isn't just flawed, it's fabricated, and someone, or something, doesn't want us to see past the veil. So next time you hear Plato's name dropped in a boring classroom or printed in a dusty textbook, remember? He wasn't just a thinker, he was a keeper, a messenger from a forgotten world, warning a future one. And maybe, just maybe, Atlantis didn't sink. It was buried beneath time, language, and code, and it's waiting to be uncovered. Like this if you think ancient philosophers knew more than we give them credit for. Comment below. Do you believe Plato encoded lost knowledge into his writings? Subscribe for more forbidden truths hidden in ancient texts. Share this video before it's rewritten, like the history we were never meant to read, because the world isn't just what we see, it's what we've been trained not to look for. And Plato? He was trying to teach us how to see.